Okay, so dude wakes up with this heavy realization. You only get one life, even if it sucks, even if it is filled with regrets. But here's the twist. Guy gets a second shot, reincarnated. And this time, 0 regrets. That is the plan anyway. Cut to present day. Standing in front of 2 kids, boy is begging for help, girl right beside him, and our guy Gray just frozen, staring, brain completely fried. Crowd around him starts whispering, judging hard, calling him a monster for letting kids beg like that. Plot twist, Gray is a transmigrator. Fragments of his past life keep surfacing, memories bleeding through. Turns out this world, basically a game called Bright Fantasy. Problem is, Gray never actually played it. Bought it because a friend was into it. Never opened the thing. All he knows? Command-based RPG. Swords and magic. Multiple heroines. Protagonist named Isuka. But here is where it gets messy. Gray is not the hero. Nope. Reincarnated as a side character with the most intimidating face imaginable. People think he is a bandit, or worse. Has 0 clue what his role even is in this game. So what does he do? Shrugs it off. Adventure, life, here we go. Being an adventurer? Supposed to be honorable. Guild quests. Ranks from E to A with levels in between. Whole system. Gray managed to claw his way up to B rank. No small feat. Needs 3 consecutive C rank completions. Already nailed that. Solid sword skills. Magic arsenal stacked. Attack spells? Check. Healing? Got it. Buffs? Debuffs? The works. Confident he can handle himself. At least not die too easily. But right now, focused on these 2 kids. Crowd getting louder. People speculating the kids might get sold. Someone yells for guards. Gray sweating bullets. Everyone judging him because of his face. Girl finally speaks up. They need help. Sick family member. Needs healing magic. Earlier, some guy kicked the boy. Called their flowers junk. That is when Gray stepped in. Kicked the dude in the face. Guy hits the ground hard. Gray agrees to buy a flower. Uses recovery magic on the kids right there. Asks if they have family. Kids shake their heads. On their own. One of them sick. Gray realizes his magic only heals wounds. True healing? That is priest territory. Church exclusive. Still reassures them. No big deal. Kids staring at him like he grew a second head. Cannot believe someone is helping. Dude just shrugs. Agrees to see their friend. Even though he has no idea if he can actually help. Wonders if healing potions will even work. Boy mentions they cannot pay. Gray brushes it off. Pay whenever. No pressure. Kids almost burst into tears. Gray does not fully get why they are so emotional. Boy explains nobody has been kind to them. Ever. Girl adds they are just trying to survive. Gray tells them to calm down already. Mind made up. Has to help. No matter what. They start walking. Boy realizes introductions never happened. Gray casually drops his name. Jokes about how obviously he is not an adventurer with this face. Boy says his name is Isuka. Girl is Fu. Gray nods. But brain is racing. That name. Isuka. Protagonist of this world. Oh no. Being reborn as a villain and getting tangled with main characters? Recipe for disaster. Normally would avoid them completely. But since he does not know the story, decides to follow his conscience, even if it leads to his death. Rather live without regrets. Here's where things get interesting. They reach this broken down house, outskirts of the slums. Place is shattered, barely standing. Isuka goes inside to let everyone know. Fu stays outside, starts thanking Gray like crazy. He tells her to thank him after the treatment works, then warns her, do not trust everyone so easily. He could be a bad person too. She says she believes in him, makes him a little happy. Girl mistakes his grin for a frown. He assures her nope, just his default expression. Face permanently stuck like this. Isuka comes back. Thanks Gray for waiting. Gestures for him to come in. Inside, 3 more kids and a woman. Isuka points at the sick girl. Fu asks if he can heal her. Gray says he will try. Meets the older girl, Errol, taking care of 2 younger ones, Lutz and Nina. Sick one is Stella, just one look. Gray freezes, red eyes, pale skin, sharp fangs. Oh no, Stella is a vampire. Of all the things these kids could be hiding, a freaking vampire. And from the looks of it, half vampire, which makes everything 10 times worse. Discriminated by humans and purebloods. Double whammy. He tells them straight up, she is not sick, just malnourished. Air in the room feels heavy. Gray figures when vampires lack nutrients they crave blood, but oddly she has not attacked any kids. Concludes she is unaware of her own bloodlust. Easy fix, just needs proper nutrients. Stands up, asks what they usually eat. Isuka mentions church food, bread, only when they can sell flowers. Gray apologizes, tells him to forget, he asked. Brain working overtime. Church food once a week. Probably best meal these kids get. Reassures them everything is fine. Says he will provide food for a month. Kids cannot believe it. Isuka asks if he is sure. Fu says they cannot accept all this. Gray cuts in. Do you want help or not? Explains his magic will not cure Stella. But malnutrition? Just eating regularly. Balanced diet. Problem solved. They are incredibly grateful. Gray decides to head to the market. Walking there, he reflects. Abandoning these kids would definitely leave him with regrets. With this mischievous grin, he thinks they are unlucky. Trusted him. Now they will end up as sacrifices for his own satisfaction. Also notices something about their health. Does not sit right. Decides to add fruits and bread to their diet, for the day at least. Suddenly, a group appears. Bald man in black approaches. Asks if Gray is also keeping an eye on the kids in the cabin. Gray's temper? Flaring hard. Grabs the man's wrist. Slams his head into the ground. Already weary guys, now outright terrified of him. Growls that he does not know what they were planning. But it is not happening on his watch. Moments later, intruders sprawled out, injured. Gray warns one of them. If they so much as touch the kids, he will turn them into food. Slowly, starting with fingers and toes. Terrified boy stammers. Gray figures he made his point. Presses the leader's head into dirt. Demands to know how they found him. Boy stutters. Thought Gray was after the same thing. Gray scoffs. Do not judge a book by its cover. After another well-deserved punch, leaves. Starts thinking about how this world does not even have schools. Later, he is back in Bosto. City he calls home. Notes the huge Adventurers Guild building. Quests posted with matching rewards. Easy city for professional adventurers. Being en route to capital helps. Large population also means plenty of bandits, like the ones earlier. Consider themselves part of underground guild. Gray buys bread, thinking since he has no team he keeps all rewards, can comfortably afford the kids' meals. When he returns, announces it is time to cook. Kids surprised. Does not seem like the type who can cook. Isuka panics. Did not mean it that way. Errol offers to help light fire. Gray catches Lutz, eyeing an apple, ruffles his hair, tells him to wait. Errol notices, takes Nina and Lutz aside. Gray notes how surprisingly well-behaved the kids are for slum dwellers. Decides not to dig too deep, they can handle simple recipes. Nina tugs at his clothes. Gray looks down, tells her to stay still, wipe her nose. Then she calls him Dad. He freezes. Brain completely short-circuits. Wrong. Knows that. But part of him wonders if denying it would make her sad. Before he can figure out response, Errol calls Nina over, gently scolding her for bothering him. Gray still does not know what to say. Soon they are all at the table. Woman announces food is ready. Gray still processing how he ended up eating with them. Isuka compliments the food. Fu scolds him for talking with mouthful. Two younger kids, making a mess, and Gray cannot help but feel this strange sense of warmth amidst the chaos. Little did he know what this would turn into. Gray wipes the younger kids' faces, watches as Nina thanks Dada. Errol picks up Stella to feed her, reminds her to eat slowly. Gray notices they are starting to regain strength, mentions Stella's energy coming back. Ariel tells Gray to leave cleaning to her. He agrees. Issa thanks him for the food. Fu adds, it was really good. Gray brushes it off. Time will sort things out, mentions he is heading home. Nina does not want him to leave, hugs him, hands him a doll. Gray takes it, brain buffering. What is he supposed to do with this? Errol apologizes, tries to explain Gray has his own house. Nina insists though. Gray chuckles, says it is fine. Kids are like that. Since it is bedtime, decides to stay until they fall asleep. Mind drifts to his past life. Sister saying goodbye. Mom telling him to take care. Dad mentioning high school. Last words he remembers. See you later. Next morning, Gray carries a bunch of food, thinking it should be fresh enough. Figures he will stick to simple meals for a while. Upgrade to better quality meat later. Arrives. Sets food down. Everyone impressed. They start looking at recipes and menu ideas Gray brought. He tells them he will not be coming every day. Should eat well while they can. Errol asks if he would like to look around. Others still sleeping. Gray starts feeling like a dad about to leave on a business trip. Sees 3 kids sleeping. Errol asks if he slept well. Admits Nina's tantrum might have bothered him. No big deal though. Errol looks happy. Isuka hesitantly asks if they will see Gray again. He nods. Got a plan. Time to start making money. Cut to later. Old Orc running for his life. Muttering he cannot win. Knows it. Desperate. Says that man is not human. Humans are just cattle to him. But all his subordinates died to that human. Heads flying off easily. Keeps repeating the guy is not human. Then Gray appears. Evil grin activated. Orc panics. Why is Gray pointing sword at him? Gray yells, they just started playing tag. Orc is it? Casually mentions there is something he wants to buy. Needs to collect the orc's head. Scene shifts to Adventurers Guild. Gray scanning mission board. Extermination mission for Elder Orc catches his eye. Good fit. As he is pondering, overhears staff chatting. Guy, with dark sense of humor, supposedly committed every crime under the sun. Assault, blackmail, theft, you name it. Gray thinks if that were true, his license would be revoked ages ago. Just then, a guy approaches, teasing Gray about taking extermination mission. Gray recognizes him as Gannis, incredibly annoying. Gannis jokes about Gray's cold demeanor, brings up rumors of him threatening kids in slums. Gray brushes it off. Gannis only shows up because still salty about Gray rejecting his team invite. Gannis brags about reaching B rank faster. Gray fires back with snarky comment about remembering your roots. Gannis points out Goblin extermination mission. Gray gets nervous. Goblin's way too low rank for him. Banter escalates. Gannis getting increasingly worked up. His subordinates try to calm him down. Gray ignores the drama, heads over to Sasha the receptionist, registers for orc mission. Sasha sighs at childish behavior, helps him review details. Mission involves old orc near poor village. Payout lower than usual. Villagers cannot afford more. Suggests forming temporary team. Gray declines, knowing no one would want to team up anyway. Prepares to head out, thinking needs to finish quickly. Before leaving, Sasha thanks Gray, assures him no one at Guild believes rumors about him. Gray shrugs it off. Pondering orc parts can be sold for high price. Powerful aphrodisiac. Nobles always after that stuff. Sasha just shakes her head, wondering what goes on in Gray's mind. Scene cuts to village. Chief overjoyed, Gray accepted mission despite low reward. Introduces Marina, village girl. Suggests she accompany Gray for the night. Compensation. Marina, terrified but feeling obligated, nervously enters Gray's room. Gray notices her fear, reassures her she does not need to stay, explains while some adventurers might take advantage, he is not one of them, tells her to rest easy, promises to complete mission so village can return to normal. Marina, relieved, apologizes, wishes him good night, leaves. As she walks away, finds herself thinking Gray might actually be kind. Returns to old man, immediately asks what happened. She explains Gray told her he did not need her, but reassured her he would still complete mission. Old man sighs in relief, just glad she is safe. Next morning, Marina brings Gray small snack, hoping he will like it. Knocks, apologizing for previous night. Gray opens door, brushes it off, thanks her, digs in. As he eats, compliments the food. Marina downplays it. Once finished, gets ready to leave. Villagers gather around, reminding him to be careful, only one they can rely on. Marina adds they are all counting on him. Final farewell. Gray sets off. Back in present, Orc running for life, sheer terror on face, mutters frantically about need to escape, fearing for life and dignity. Before he can get far, Gray hurls sword, slicing off one of Orc's arms. Orc lets out blood-curdling scream. Gray calmly tells him to say final prayers, mockingly calling him Old Orc, playfully debates which to take first, head or more delicate parts. Once fight is over, collects everything he needs. Makes use of high-class magic bag. These bags are rare. Had foresight to buy one back when still on team. Thanks to it, does not have to carry certain trophies in hands. Not that he enjoys having them in bag either, but it is what it is. And here is where things get wild. When Gray returns to village townspeople already gathered, waiting for news, Gray announces Orc is dead. Forest safe to use again. Old man thanks him for hard work. But when Gray presents Orc's head as proof, villagers recoil in horror. That was definitely more than they needed to see. Marina asks if he will stay the night, was planning to cook for him. Gray politely declines, says he needs to leave soon, apologizes. She looks disappointed but says she understands. Villagers thank him once again, wish him safe journey. Later, Gray rides in carriage, reflects on how smoothly everything is going. Long-term plan finally coming together, close to making dream home a reality. Been a while since he started living in Basto. While the inn is comfortable, time to settle down properly. Smirks to himself, noting Old Orc's family jewels will probably end up helping some noble families with their lineage. His quiet laughter unnerves other passengers, who inch away from him. Next day, Gray back at inn, carefully stitching up worn-out doll for Nina. Figures she will be happy to have it fixed, but fabric so old it will probably fall apart again soon. Deciding to try something more permanent, heads to shop, see if alchemy can restore it. Shopkeeper recognizes him immediately, comments on how Gray just got back but already preparing to leave again. Jokes it must be for a woman, maybe some post-mission romance. Before Gray can respond, man suddenly calls for someone named Lena, shouting her father is at it again. Voice from upstairs fires back, Lena, the innkeeper's daughter, starts scolding father for pestering guests. Old man tries to defend himself. Lena is not having it, calls him an idiot, much to his dismay. Insists men should stick together. Gray merely shrugs. Was about to leave anyway. Lena assures him she will handle father. Wishes him great day. Gray takes moment to appreciate the inn. Clean rooms, good food, generally polite staff. If place is not more successful, probably old man's fault. Later arrives at alchemy workshop. Lux immediately assumes he is here about doll. With smirk teases that ragged old toy does not really suit someone like Gray. Gray, however, more interested in getting it properly restored. Lux confirms alchemy can fix it, but there is a price. Before Gray can ask how much, Lux reveals he has clients specifically interested in old orc parts. When Gray casually presents Orc's head, Lux recoils in horror, exclaiming he was not supposed to bring that back. Gray, however, knows exactly what Lux really wants. Orc's crystal ball. With smirk admits to taking one of Orc's jewels, says he is willing to forgive Lux for reaction. After all, if things go well, Lux is typed to slip him free healing potion. Besides, as long as Kid is happy, Gray does not really care what he gains in return. When Gray returns, Nina rushes toward him, calling out desperately for Dad. Errol beside her quickly apologizes, explaining Nina cried a lot after he left. Gray kneels down, gently hugs her, reassuring her no need to cry. Gray's here. Look, Stella too. Stella, smiling, also calls him Dad, playfully reminds him to comfort Nina properly. Seeing her happy and full of energy makes Gray feel quiet sense of relief, glad she is doing well. Apologizing for making Nina wait, pulls out doll, hands it to her. Her eyes immediately light up. Excitement. Eagerly takes it, bouncing on feet as she admires how pretty it looks. Whole room brightens at her joy. Everyone relieved to see her happy. Errol, watching moment unfold, expresses deep gratitude, unsure how to properly thank him. Gray brushes it off as nothing. Instead, suggests heading inside to eat. Errol tells Nina she can go play with Fu. Gray chimes in. She can stay right where she is, no problem. Beaming, Nina settles onto Gray's lap as everyone sits down for meal. Gray quietly observes Isuka, asking Fu to eat his mushrooms. To Gray, Isuka just seems like regular kid, one who has no idea someday he is meant to become hero who saves world. That thought unsettles him. Knows he will have to lend strength to Isuka when time comes. But if he had any say, would rather let these kids live peaceful lives. Breaking out of thoughts gathers everyone's attention. As chatter quiets, all eyes turn to him. Takes moment before sharing his plan, thinking of buying house in city. Asks if they would like to live there. For moment, silence fills room. Then Isuka speaks up, says they are all just really surprised. Fu hesitantly asks if Gray means everyone. Errol, still trying to process, asks again if he really means all of them. Gray simply nods. Nina immediately declares she wants to live with Dad, voice full of excitement. Errol, determined, says she will do her best too. Gray, taken aback, wonders how things escalated so quickly. This was not exactly how he planned things, but after spending past month with them, no way he can just walk away. At very least relieved they are not upset with him. Errol, sensing his thoughts, assures him there is no reason they would be mad. Given them food, taken care of them, fixed Nina's doll, done more than they ever could have expected. Incredibly grateful. She turns to group, checking if everyone okay with it. Meanwhile, Gray sits in silence, trying to wrap head around what Stella is thinking. Excitement fills room. Even Stella, who usually keeps to herself, quietly smiling. After a moment, Nina looks up, asks where he is going, explains he is off to find new house for them, tells them to wait here. She nods, says she understands. Gray thanks everyone, group eager. Isuka constantly assures Gray they will all be waiting for his return. At Adventurers Guild, Gray starts envisioning ideal home, cooking dinner for everyone, proper bath, separate rooms for Isuka and others. Spacious living room sounds nice too. More he thinks about it, bigger his plans get. Maybe large house, even place big enough for party. Just as he is lost in thought, Ganna shows up again, immediately asking if Gray got old Orc's ear. Gray sighs. Not this guy again. Man insists it is impossible Gray defeated Orc just 2 days ago. No way. Demands Gray be honest about where he got items. Gray getting seriously fed up. Wonders if Guy is actually serious. Before he can respond, a man starts answering own question, speculating about where Gray must have bought those old Orc ears. That is it. Gray is done. Fires back sarcastically, suggesting if Guy too scared to hunt goblins, maybe try picking herbs instead. Gray knows how system works. Adventurers can still get rewards for defeating monsters even without official quest. Just need proof, like Orc's ear. But Guy keeps arguing, saying ear Gray brought is not valid, attached to skull. So, Gray casually tosses Orc's head at him, warning not to drop it. Went through trouble of bringing whole thing after all. Man stares in horror. Gray taunts him, calling him Cherry Boy. Guild receptionist quickly steps in, telling Gray to stop. Report mission completion properly. Gray casually plops Skull onto counter. Sasha immediately scolds him. Dumping severed monster head in middle of guild could be considered harassment. Gray shrugs, arguing it is just proof. She is not having it. Warns him if new receptionist had been here might have fainted just from sight. Gray reassures her. Pondering Sasha is one of few receptionists never scared of him. That is why even when guild crowded always waits for her, though by look on her face does not seem thrilled about it. Sasha hands Gray reward, takes opportunity to ask her something. She raises eyebrow, rare for him to ask for help, tells him make it quick, reminds him providing guidance is part of guild's job. Will help however she can. Calls over another receptionist, Melinda. Take over while she steps away. She agrees, but moment she spots Orc's head lets out horrified scream, calling for Sasha. Gray, noticing commotion, checks in. Everything okay? Meanwhile, Sasha, ever the professional, remains unfazed. Jokes if people did not call her by name probably would relax all time. Shifts conversation. How unexpected. Gray suddenly asking about real estate. Gray and Sasha arrive at property. Sasha explains house fits all Gray's requirements. He takes a look around, immediately noting how massive it is. Sasha elaborates. Place previously used for Valkyrie gatherings. When their events got too big, relocated. Now house sits empty, waiting for next owner. Gray recalls Valkyries are elite high-ranking group, made up entirely of women, nearly reaching S rank in Basto. Invitations to noble and royal events, highly sought after. Chuckles at thought of young nobles practically tripping over themselves at sight of them. For brief moment wonders if house being offered as part of some Valkyrie-related scheme. But location, size, number of rooms, too perfect to pass up. Can already picture kids' excitement when they see it. Sasha seems surprised how quickly he is making decision. Gray notes price shockingly low, nearly half of what similar properties go for. Sasha reveals Valkyries themselves arranged for half cost to be covered, but only if he is one buying it. Amazing deal. Gray knows he cannot turn it down. Just as he is about to relax, instincts kick in. Casually acknowledges presence of few individuals. One nearby, two on roof, two more hiding in shadows ahead. Focus shifts to hooded figure lurking behind him. If planning ambush, at least learn to hide bloodlust. Hooded man immediately asks if he is Gray. Everything clicks. These guys from Rapacious Spider. Same group, same tactics. No way they are getting away this time. Man boldly declares he is here to take Gray's life. Before it can even finish, Gray moves. In instant, gripping man by neck. Voice calm, yet threatening. If they are not part of Rapacious, Spider will deal with them quickly. But if they are, we'll make sure it is painful. No time for games. Better start talking. Within moments, subdues man with ease. Sighing as realizes whole situation is inconvenience. Still has dinner to make for kids. These interruptions getting annoying. Turning to another gang member simply states their time is up. Man now trapped stares in horror, demanding to know how Gray managed to restrain him so effortlessly. Gray just shrugs, explaining it is nothing special. Already taking care of ones on roof as well. Meanwhile, just outside kids' cabin 2, more gang members whisper among themselves. One suggests taking advantage of Gray's absence to attack. Other quickly shuts him down. If that man returns, they will not stand chance. Before it can continue discussion, voice breaks through silence. Gray emerges from shadows, completely unfazed, ignoring his warning, huh? Two men freeze in terror, earlier confidence vanishing instantly. Without wasting time, ties them up as well. Did not get much information from others, but if these two want painless end, better start talking. Otherwise should stop lurking where they do not belong. Later that night returns to cabin. Greeted by Errol, who looks relieved, Nina rushes forward, beaming as she welcomes him back. Gray shifts focus. We'll deal with gang members later, once kids asleep. Right now, priority is them. Nina tugs at sleeve, looking up expectantly, asking to be held. He hesitates before lifting her onto lap. She instantly settles in comfortably. Moment does not last long before other kids start gathering. Isuka eagerly offers to help with anything. Stella quickly claims her turn on lap. Gray laughs, promising he will hold her too. Then Lutz rushes over, clearly excited about his turn. Once everyone settled, finally shares big news. House officially theirs. In 2 days, when everything ready, they will move in. Everyone's super excited. After that, all go to sleep. Gray, just about to leave, putting on clothes, when Stella suddenly asks if going to work, calling him dad. He quickly apologizes for waking her. reassures her, just stepping out for a bit. Stella, with curious look, asks if he will come back. Gray smiles, telling her of course he will be back soon. They will be living together from now on. Promises not to worry. Stella, still thinking, calls him again. Asks with slight tilt of head why he decided to become their father. Gray chuckles softly, says he has nothing to hide. Could tell her right then and there, but Stella shakes head. Rather hear it when everyone around. Gray agrees, knowing it is something that should be shared with all of them. As he heads out, feels like Stella seen right through him, but instead of feeling uncomfortable, actually comforting sensation. With sigh, starts thinking about how to track down rest of those guys. Mutters to himself, Dad is going to work hard. Looks forward to lads showing him way to hide out. Gray finds himself standing with two guys, one resigned to fate, having led Gray straight to hideout, other desperately begging for mercy. Second guy insists he has changed, swearing he will never attack kids again, just wants to live honest life. Gray, unimpressed, recognizes him as Casey. Reflects these guys were ones who started all this trouble, already warned them, did not listen, swiftly deals with them, deciding too much risk to let them walk free, no matter how much they claim to have changed. Safety of kids and past victims comes first, determined to wrap things up quickly. Knowing Nina would be lonely, Stella would be worried if he took too long. Meanwhile, one remaining thugs, blonde guy, looks at Gray, questioning who he even is. Gray definitely does not come across as typical law-abiding citizen, more like adventurer who takes things into own hands. Gray moves efficiently, finishing off enemies with precision, direct hit to head fastest and most reliable method, ensuring they do not come back as undead, avoids using magic. Figuring might be someone capable of sensing magical energy. Remaining thugs panicking, wondering what happening outside. When finally confront him, Gray casually mentions already took care of their friends, in middle of dealing with another one. Fight does not last long, wipes them all out. Notes, usual setup, big cave serving as hideout. Inside, realizing will take time to reach boss's room. Before can make much progress, someone suddenly shouts about intruder. Massive guy appears, boasting about being former B-rank adventurer. Gray barely reacts, already dismissing guy as weaker than Gannis. Just as fight begins, assassin jumps in to attack, making Gray question what kind of training this organization even gives members. One particularly bald and terrified thug tries to flee. Gray quickly catches up, knocking him down with well-placed kick. Holding guy's face up, notes how cold he looks. Running away was never going to work. Demands directions to boss's office. After a bit of hesitation, guy finally gives in, points the way. Gray considers wrapping things up in style, maybe sending in that giant bird as parting gift. At last stands before boss. Man seems both surprised and impressed Gray actually made it this far. Just like reports warned, curious what Gray is to those kids exactly. Gray does not hesitate as he draws sword, making clear he is their father. Boss baffled, laughing at absurdity. Convinced, Gray completely lost it. But Gray short on time, no patience for conversation, ready to end it, tells boss to prepare to make amends in next life. Boss, realizing things not looking great, throws out cryptic remark about kids, hinting they are not normal. But before any answers come, scene shifts. Next morning, Gray practically buried under Nina and Stella, eagerly trying to wake him up for breakfast. Nina, clearly having fun, blurts something out, poking at him. Even Errol, watching nearby, tells them to stop pestering Gray. He is probably exhausted. Gray, half asleep, figures will get up soon. For now, just enjoying warmth. Back at innkeeper from earlier asking about rapacious spiders, says they are apparently large-scale group in city. Many members, fighters, constantly get into fights with city guards, causing lot of headaches. But now, all those guys wiped out. In just one night, all heads cut off. He asks if Gray believes it, heard even hidden members killed, including boss. Lena also heard it when she went out. Baldy adds no matter how much they tried, probably fail. Should be scared of doing something wrong, ending up as next target. Old innkeeper, blissfully unaware, just goes about business. Lena, on other hand, starts reminiscing about Gray, remembering how scary he looked when she was younger. Even now finds his face a bit intimidating. Gray, meanwhile, focused on more important things, getting everything ready for big move to new home. Plan is set, private rooms for everyone. Kids thrilled. Gray happily volunteers to help wash their hair. At clothing shop, attendant looks nervous around Gray, asks what kind of outfits they need. Gray, completely uninterested in fashion, leaves choices up to shopkeeper. Ariel teases maybe he should help pick, since Gray's fashion sense questionable at best. Meanwhile, Nina excitedly shows off new dress, twirling like little princess. Whole group in high spirits. When finally arrive at new house, even more impressive than expected. Huge, spotless, full of possibilities. Stella already dashing off to explore, dragging Nina along. Second floor filled with cozy individual rooms, kids thrilled to claim own space. Errol holds back, letting everyone choose first, reminding himself they are family now. Place is theirs to grow into. Will take time for everyone to adjust, but excitement in air, undeniable. While kids busy settling and Gray's mind drifts to practical matters, making sure they have enough food, keeping things organized, maybe even considering school, great school and city. One of best for children, but also packed with noble kids. That part worries Gray. Does not want his kids facing discrimination, bullying just because of background. Wonders if now right time, or should wait little longer. More than anything, just wants them to grow up happy, have bright futures. As night falls, Gray finally heads to bed, only to find Stella, Lutz. Nina decided they are not quite ready to sleep alone. Crawl into his bed, snuggling up for night. Just as getting comfortable, there is knock at door. No surprise. Isuka, Fu, Errol, all sheepily claiming they do not want to sleep alone either. And so, on their very first night in Grand New Home, whole family ends up cozily piled into one room, laughing and chatting until they drift off to sleep. If you liked the video, please drop a like and subscribe to stay tuned for the next part.